Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
When the lower brain is thrown off, the upper brain follows. When the lower brain is thrown off, the upper brain follows. Are you in your right mind, my friend? Are you in your higher thoughts, your higher self? Do you feel full? And if you do, with what? Full of joy, full of peace, full of fulfillment, or full of food, full of satisfaction, full of drink, full of angst, full of fear, full of accomplishment, full of service, full of gratitude, full of gladness, full of goodness, full of light? What are you full of? Have you ever heard the expression, "Oh, they're full of themselves, he's full of himself, she's full of herself"? But is that such a bad thing? If you are full of yourself, if your cup runneth over, it may spill out to affect others in kind. Being full of yourself doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could just mean simply that you love yourself. And self-love is so important, especially today when we are bombarded and distracted left and right. But if the lower brain is thrown off, the upper brain follows. What does that mean to you, my friend? There have been times where I've been very full, very content. And in this state, I found myself oddly unable to get many things done. You felt it. You're at work, on the job. And then lunch happens. You go to lunch, you take your break, and you fill yourself to the brim with food. And after your lunch break, you're expected to come back fresh and starting at work again. But often, we would want just the opposite. We would want to go home, right? But instead, we're tasked to begin again where we left off, finish what we started. There have been times where on a full stomach I've tried to do puzzles like Sudoku, and I've found it very difficult because there was so much on my mind. And when I say my mind, I mean my lower mind. For the stomach, the gut, many have said, is our second brain. There are so many different functions that it has that controls us. You hear the gurgling of your stomach and you feel the need to respond. As if in a trance, you're under its control, under its power. You have to satiate this hunger. You have to satisfy yourself. You feel the pull. It is so great. Even as I say this, my stomach is responding in kind. But that is the other brain, the lower mind. But for all intents and purposes, it might as well be the higher mind because it affects our brain so powerfully, as if to control us. Many of us, we are slaves to our own inhibitions, our own need to feed. But there are many forms of hunger, perhaps unknown to many of us. Emotional hunger, not just physical hunger, mental nourishment, right? Spiritual hunger, hunger for life, for good conversation, hunger. But when our stomach is clogged, when our lower brain is thrown off, we find it hard to think, to breathe even, to sleep easy. Many things become difficult when there's a lot on the brain. So protect your second brain, protect your gut. That gives you that gut feeling, that intuition that tells you to do something or not to do something. Unclog your pipes. Breathe easy. And be well, knowing that you can be clean and clear, pristine with a clarity that you have never known before. When you abstain from excessive eating, excessive consumption, and instead you allow yourself to let go, even if it is every once in a while. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm podcast here in Lake Elsinore, California. The open palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm. And a pleased belly, a satisfied stomach, instead of a closed fist. Share this episode with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest versions, with less on the brain and much more to gain. If you resonate and gain value at all from this episode or any of the others, and you feel compelled to support, I invite you, my friend, to become a supporter, as many others have done. Shout out to all the people who continue to donate. Much love to you. And you can do that by opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw, and clicking that little support button there is much appreciated, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.